This is Eric Smith. Thought it was time to do another quick look video, and I thought I would do one on a book that I believe is probably the most neglected book in the Bible. You don't hear a lot of preachers and churches preaching from this particular book, but we need to get into the whole Word of God, and because of that, going to do Song of Solomon chapter 1 verse 15, and the Word of God reads this way: Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair, thou hast dove's eyes. The Song of Solomon is a book that talks about Solomon's love for a woman, a Shulammite woman, and it actually may be his true love. The whole book is a song. In fact, I believe the Jewish people still sing this song on the Passover. And we may say to ourselves, well, wait a minute. Didn't King Solomon have multiple wives? Didn't King Solomon write over 1,000 songs? In fact, 1 Kings 4:32 says that. So what makes this so special? Well, first of all, even though King Solomon had multiple wives, a lot of times in Eastern culture, that was a status thing. Kings had many wives to show their superiority, their status, their majesty. Doesn't necessarily mean Solomon loved every single one of those wives the same way. And as for all the songs that Solomon wrote, yeah, there's many of them, but guess what? We don't have them all in the scriptures, but we have this one. So it's really important that we delve into this particular book like we would any other book. Now, many Bible scholars will say that the Song of Solomon is actually an allegory. It's actually allegorizing and comparing Solomon's love for this woman for God's love for Israel and Christ's love for the church. And though there is a spiritual connection between God and his people and husband and wife, this book is actually just a love song, and we have to take it that way. What I love about the Song of Solomon is it talks about three aspects of Solomon's life as it pertains to this woman. It talks about the courtship, it talks about the early marriage, and it talks about their maturity in their marriage as they grow old. This verse I just read is actually part of the courtship. So let's go back to verse 15. It says, Behold, thou art fair, my love. So we have the first part of the verse where Solomon is telling the woman that she is fair and calls the woman his love. Now when he says thou art fair, it's basically she's beautiful, she's wonderful to look at. And then it says, Behold, thou art fair. He says it again, and he says, thou hast dove's eyes. Now we can hear that and go, you have eyes like a dove? But actually it means her eyes are beautiful. There's something to look at. So we have early in the courtship King Solomon talking to this particular woman and telling her how beautiful she is, how she is his love, how he loves his eyes. And dear Christian, we can read this now and understand this as Christians, particularly if you're a Christian man or you're a Christian young man courting a woman. God tells us in this song that it is completely right for a godly man to love his woman in a way that is nurturing, that is sweet, that is desirable. We are not to just love our wives in an ungodly way or in a worldly way. We're supposed to love our women like Solomon loved this woman. We're supposed to tell the woman that we're married to that she's beautiful, that she has lovely eyes. And if you go further in this book, Solomon actually talks about how he physically desires this woman. There's nothing wrong with that. As husband and wife, we're one. That's what Genesis 2:24 says. And Hebrews 13:4 says marriage is what? Honorable, and the bed is undefiled. So when we read Song of Solomon, let's just not discard it as just some allegory or, okay, here's a love story about Solomon and this particular woman. It is a spiritual lesson and a practical lesson of how we need to love our wives or our wives to be. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you're a godly man and you cannot speak to your wife the way Solomon spoke to this woman, then you really need to check yourself and understand that you should love your wife like Christ loved the church. And you should love your wife the way Solomon loved this woman. So this is Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 15, the verse that talks about him desiring her during their courtship. Please, dear Christian man, Christian young man, know that your love for your wife can be just like this song. So I would beg you, I would encourage you, read the Song of Solomon. As always, if the videos on this channel have encouraged your Christian walk, but you have not subscribed to my channel yet and you want to, hit the button. If you want to leave any comments, please do so, but please do not be snarky, please do not be profane. We want to be Christ-like in everything we say and do as Christians. And until we do another quick look, understand something. Godly love should be above any type of love. And if you read this song, you're going to see an example of it, and it should encourage you to love your wife or love your wife to be. Thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and God bless.